Everyone says I ruined my marriage, my sister, my friends, even my own mother, and she never takes sides. They all look at me like I set the house on fire and stood there watching it burn with a glass of wine. But here's the thing, it wasn't just me. It's never just one person. Yes, I made mistakes, big ones. I did things I shouldn't have, said things I can't unsay. But a marriage doesn't fall apart overnight. It takes years of little things, neglect, resentment, silence. My husband Eli, he's not perfect. He used to shut down when things got real. Every time I brought up something serious, money, intimacy, the fact that I felt invisible, he'd just withdraw, sit there quiet, with that blank look on his face. Like if he didn't respond, the problem would disappear. So yeah, eventually, I started talking to someone else. It wasn't an affair, not technically. He was just someone I could talk to, someone who made me feel heard, like I mattered again. His name doesn't matter. He was just a friend. Until he wasn't. He found out on a Wednesday. I remember because I was cutting lemons for dinner. Chicken, garlic, rosemary, trying to act normal, like everything wasn't coming apart inside my chest. He walked into the kitchen and said, "How long has it been going on?" Just like that. No anger in his voice, no accusation, just cold air. Like a door opened and winter walked in. I didn't answer right away. I froze, knife still in my hand, lemon half sliced. "What?" I said, buying time. "You know what I'm asking." His eyes were fixed on me, not pleading, not even hurt, just tired, like he'd already lived through it in his head 100 times. So I said the first version of the truth I could live with. It wasn't physical. I told him. It was just someone I talked to. Someone you didn't talk to me about. That landed harder than I expected. I put the knife down. "It's not like you ever made it easy," I said. "You never listen. You shut down. You made me feel like I was completely alone in this house." He nodded. "Just once." Then he turned around and walked upstairs. Didn't slam a door. Didn't yell. Didn't cry. Just started packing. That's what did it for me. Not the confrontation. The silence. The way he folded his shirts like he was going on a trip instead of leaving a marriage. No anger. Just resignation. I stood in the hallway and said, "You're really going to leave? Just like that?" He didn't answer. And for once, I didn't blame him. I thought someone would take my side. Maybe not everyone, but someone. I called my sister first. We've always been close. She was my maid of honor. She used to say Eli was a little too quiet, but that he clearly adored me. When I told her what happened, there was a long pause. Then she said, "And you expected." "What exactly?" I blinked. I needed to talk to someone. "You should have talked to him." "I did," I said. "He just never listened." Her voice went colder. "So you found someone who did." Got it. Click. "No, I'm here for you." "No, I understand." Just silence. I didn't even tell my mom at first. She found out through my aunt, who apparently heard it from Eli's cousin. Word travels fast when people want a story to blame someone for. When I finally called her, she didn't sound angry. She just sounded sad. "I raised you better than this," she said. And for some reason, that was worse. I tried to explain, tried to tell her how Eli had shut down, how I was miserable, how I needed something. But her voice was firm. Needing something doesn't mean taking what isn't yours. I hung up first that time. And for the first time since Eli left, I sat in my car alone, gripping the steering wheel, and felt something I couldn't talk my way around. Not guilt, not regret, not yet. Just the sharp, quiet sting of being truly alone. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking I'm the villain, that I betrayed a good man and got exactly what I deserved. But you weren't there. You didn't feel what I felt every morning waking up next to someone who looked at me like I was background noise. You didn't see the way he shut down, the way he avoided touch, the way he let our conversations die after 3 sentences. I didn't cheat, not really. I never even kissed him, the other guy. He just listened, asked questions, remembered things I said, made me feel like I existed again. And maybe I leaned on that too much. Maybe I needed it too badly. But does that really make me the monster? Is emotional starvation not a kind of betrayal too? No one wants to talk about that part. They just hear emotional affair and decide the rest of the story without reading past the headline. But fine, let them. Let my sister think I'm selfish. Let my mom look at me like I'm broken. Let Eli walk away with his dignity and silence. I know what I did. I know it wasn't perfect. But I also know I didn't deserve to be abandoned, to be erased, to be hated by everyone I ever loved because I needed something, right? It sat at the bottom of the closet, plain, brown, and taped. I didn't even notice it at first. I was folding the last of his shirts, the ones he didn't take. I told myself I'd box them up, drop them off with a friend, or burn them, depending on the mood. But then I saw it. A small box I didn't recognize, marked with my name, just my name, written in his handwriting. My stomach sank. I sat down on the bedroom floor, legs crossed, and lifted the lid like it might explode. It didn't. Inside were 3 things. A necklace, simple, silver. He gave it to me on our 3rd anniversary. I thought he'd forgotten that year. I was mad all day. And then he pulled that box out of his pocket while we were doing dishes. Said, I just wanted to surprise you. A photo. Me, asleep on the couch, hair a mess, mouth slightly open. He took it without me knowing. Wrote on the back, this is my favorite version of you. The real one. A letter. Not folded. Just a single page. It said, I would have forgiven you if you had just said you were sorry. That's all. No signature, no goodbye, no hate, just truth. And for the first time in months, my breath caught in my chest, because I realized I never said it. Not once. Not even when he left. Not even when I still could. I read the letter 10 times. Each time, it got heavier. Not because of what it said, but because of what it didn't say. There was no blame, no list of my wrongs, no dramatic parting words, just a sentence. One simple, clean sentence that broke me more than all the accusations in the world could have. I would have forgiven you if you had just said you were sorry. I sat on the floor until my legs went numb. I tried to think back. Had I really not apologized? Not once? I remember the fights, the justifications, the tears, but not an apology, not a real one, not a sorry that didn't come with a paragraph after it. I told myself I wasn't the villain, that I had reasons, that I was lonely, that Eli had withdrawn. But now, holding that letter, I realized something terrifying. Villains don't always wear capes. Sometimes they just never say they're wrong. Maybe I didn't cheat on him with my body, but I cheated with my absence, with my pride. And when the moment came to ask for grace, I looked away. I waited 3 more days. I told myself I needed to be sure of what I felt, that I wasn't just reacting to guilt or loneliness or the sound of an empty house at night, but the truth. I was scared that it was already too late. Still, on the 4th day, I picked up my phone and called him. It rang 4 times, then voicemail. His voice calm, warm, achingly familiar. Leave a message. Beep. I didn't speak, not at first. Then I said, I read the letter. Pause. I should have said it. I should have said it the day you asked, and every day after. My voice broke a little. I'm sorry, Eli. I was selfish. I was proud. I thought if I explained it well enough, I could still be right. But I wasn't. I was just afraid to be wrong. Another pause. I'm not calling to fix it. I know I can't. I just wanted you to hear it. Click. I didn't leave my number. He already had it. If he wanted to call back, He would. He didn't. Days passed. Then a week. Then two. I stopped checking my phone, stopped refreshing my inbox. I started doing something I hadn't done in months. I sat with the silence, and I listened. To the absence of his voice. To the weight of my actions. To the echo of the words I should have said when it still mattered. And in that silence, I finally understood. Some things can be forgiven, some can't, but all of them must be owned, even when no one's left to hear you say it.